Nowadays, combat drones perform almost every task imaginable, from high-altitude reconnaissance of a given area to executing large, high-precision strikes against the enemy. One of the best among these aircraft is the American MQ-9 Reaper, which will soon be demonstrating its power once again in combat over in Ukraine. The American company General Atomics Aeronautical Systems is one of the world's top military drone manufacturers, having extensive experience in the development of unmanned aerial vehicles. Their brainchild, the MQ-9 Predator, bared its fearsome fangs during the war in Afghanistan and continued its combat duty effectively eliminating terrorists in various parts of the world. But time passed, and with it the need to modernize this drone grew. After analyzing the weapon market and evaluating the prospect for the development of drones, the company decided to outdo itself by creating something even more extravagant. This something was the MQ-9, with a no less formidable nickname, the Reaper, a new generation of modular reconnaissance and strike UAVs. An experimental model of the future Reaper, codenamed B001, made its first flight back in February of 2001. Its A-frame was based on the standard Predator A-frame with the exception of an imposing fuselage and larger wings, which were increased in length from 48 to 66 feet. The B001 was equipped with an Allied Signal Garrett TPE 331-10T turboprop engine with 950 horsepower or 710 kilowatts, allowing it to reach speeds of up to 250 miles per hour as well as carry a 750-pound payload at 50,000 feet elevation with a 30-hour power reserve. Moving forward, the team thoroughly worked to improve the design of the drone in two different versions. The first was the B002 version, powered by Williams FJ44-2A turbojet with 10.2 kilonewtons, 2,300 lbf or 1040 kgf of thrust, a 475-pound payload, 60,000 feet elevation ceiling, and 12 hours of autonomous flight. The second was the B003, which the company dubbed the Altair. Its A-frame had a wingspan of 84 feet, a takeoff weight of about 7,000 pounds, and an Allied Signal Garrett turboprop engine identical to the B001 we mentioned earlier. However, unlike the B001, the load capacity of this prototype increased to 3,000 pounds instead of 750. The elevation ceiling went up from 50,000 feet to 52,000, and the battery life was extended to 36 hours from the previous 30. While testing new models, the U.S. Air Force stubbornly continued to call this drone none other than Predator B, and only after revealing its capabilities did they fully recognize that it was worthy of its own name, the Reaper. Oftentimes, when talking about a specific drone, it's in regards to some aircraft specifically, but in the case of the MQ-9, we're talking about an integrated system where the drone is one of the components. It consists of a drone equipped with sensors and weapons, a ground control system, a Predator primary satellite link, support systems, and a qualified team of operators. The crew is, in this case, the drone operator who acts as a commander of the aircraft and his assistant who's responsible for working with sensors and guidance, UAV arsenal by targets. The platform capabilities were maximized not only by its versatility and successful adaptation both under the MQ-9 and its successor the MQ-9, but also by the flexibility in planning a specific operation. In fact, depending on the task, Reaper can be equipped with certain specific sets of sensors and weapons. The MQ-9 has 6 weapon pylons, both internal and external, and its arsenal includes GBU-12 Payway 2 laser-guided bombs, air-to-ground missiles like AGM-114 Hellfire 2, AI-9 Sidewinder, and also the GBU-38 JDAM. Furthermore, additional tests are being carried out to install air-to-air missiles on the drone, specifically the AIM-92 Stinger, which will make the device even more formidable. It's possible to achieve maximum efficiency on the battlefield with MQ-9 due to, among other things, the onboard multispectral aiming system which provides visual identification of targets. In the modification with Raytheon MTSB sensors, there's an infrared sensor, color and monochrome daytime cameras, an infrared shortwave camera, a laser distance indicator, and a laser target illumination system. This and the all-too-necessary advanced radar. The work of this drone's operator sometimes resembles work in film production since the images from each sensor can be viewed both separately or combined if necessary to better assess the situation in the monitored area. Particularly impressive is the fact that the latest versions of the MQ-9 are able to see targets not only at any time of the day but also when they're in cover thanks to tracking radar radiation. The first Reaper sorties were carried out by the 432nd Air Force Wing of the U.S. Air Force in May 2007 in the Daroor Wood region of Afghanistan, in the mountainous province of Uruzgan. Just a year later, the MQ-9 successfully attacked 16 targets in Afghanistan using 500-pound bombs and Hellfire missiles. The use of drones turned out to be so effective that in August 2008, the complete transition to the Reaper was announced in the 174 Fighter Wing, and in March 2009, the Air Force had 28 operational Reapers. Since then, the MQ-9 has carried out dozens of missions, from patrolling the area around the Seychelles and combating piracy in the Indian Ocean to neutralizing ISIS terrorist Mohammed Mwazi, known under the pseudonym Jihadi John, and responsible for the execution of several Western prisoners. The Reaper has overall displayed utterly amazing results in its fights with high-caliber opponents. For example, in 2020, as a result of a missile attack on Baghdad International Airport, Qasem Soleimani, the commander of the Iranian Quds Force, and Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, the deputy commander of Iraqi Popular Mobilization Forces, were eliminated. Since entering service, the Reaper hasn't had a single chance to go without further modifications. This is how the Mariner appeared, a Reaper proposed for the U.S. Air Force BMS Broad Area Maritime Surveillance program, armed with an increased fuel supply to provide 49 hours of battery life. Another concept, the Naval Reaper or Sea Guardian, has a power reserve of more than 18 hours with the ability to patrol 8 hours within a radius of 1,200 nautical miles, and its Leonardo Sea Spray 7500 EV2 ASA radar is capable of detecting surface targets, including ships, submarine periscopes, and even people during search and rescue operations. In addition to the previous two modifications, testing also included a seaworthy version of the Reaper for aircraft carriers with folding wings for ease of storage, a shortened reinforced undercarriage, a brake hook, lowered surfaces that were cut or completely retracted, and pylons to store 3,000 pounds of payload. International demand for the male RPAS, which was intended to certify the aircraft for operation in civil airspace, has contributed to the development of the MQ-9B Sky Guardian, formerly known as a Certified Predator B, making it compliant with European air regulations to facilitate the export of UAVs. This also affected the performance of the drone due to a modified wingspan out to 97 feet and an increase in the amount of fuel sufficient for a 40-hour flight at an altitude of 50,000 feet. The Sky Guardian also boasted an EO/IR full-motion high-definition video sensor, TCAS, anti-icing system, and automatic takeoff and landing. The ground control station was also upgraded, expanding to 4 crew posts. In addition to these versions, we can't forget about the following. Protector RGMK-1 drone capable of carrying up to 18 Brimstone 2 missiles or Payway 4 bombs, transferred to the UK to replace its previously acquired MQ-9A Reaper, MQ-9 Block 1, a UAV modification introduced in 2012 with an increase for 15 hours of flight duration, MQ-9 Block 5 or Block 1 Plus Reaper versions with a new increased power starter generator, dual ARC-210 VHF-UHF radios with wingtip antennas for transmitting data to several air or ground objects simultaneously, also possessing an increased payload capacity. Having gone through a true trial by fire during its operational career, the MQ-9 is certainly ready for new challenges. These could most definitely be various tasks in Ukraine, given the recent outbreak of war there. The country's authorities have already met with representatives of General Atomics to discuss the possible purchase of such drones, and although plans to transfer 4 MQ-1C Grey Eagle male drones were previously shelved by the U.S. due to fears that the technology could fall into the hands of the enemy, discussion regarding the transfer of the MQ-9 Reaper by the American Defense Company would hardly have been possible without the green light from the Biden administration. But will the MQ-9 be able to overshadow the wild success of the Turkish Bayraktar TB2 acquired in the war against the Russian invaders and during the years of service in the ranks of the Ukrainian military forces? Let's compare these aerial protectors, and we'll start with their dimensions. The MQ-9 is 36 feet 1 inch long with a 65 feet 4 inch wingspan, while the TB2 is only 21 feet 4 inches long with a 39 feet 4 inch wingspan. The Reaper also greatly outweighs a Bayraktar at 4,801 pounds versus 925 pounds empty, with the MQ-9's impressive 10,494 pounds MTOW versus the TB2's 1,500 pounds. But as far as battery life goes, both drones have shown pretty decent results. The Reaper's time record is 49 hours with a Mariner version, about 42 hours for a medium payload with a base version, and up to 14 hours for a maximum payload of 800 pounds on the inner pylons and 3,000 pounds on the outer ones. At the same time, the maximum flight range of the drone is 1,200 miles at a cruising speed of 194 miles per hour and a maximum acceleration of 300 miles per hour. The Bayraktar, on the other hand, is also a hearty one and easily delivers up to 27 hours of operation with a maximum payload of a modest 330 pounds. As for its range performance, it falls short of its American counterpart with 190 miles at a cruising speed of 80 miles per hour and a top speed of 136 miles per hour. On the other hand, their operating altitudes don't have such categorical differences. 25,000 feet for the MQ-9 and 18,000 feet for the TB2. However, the Reaper's altitude ceiling is much more impressive, 50,000 feet versus exactly half with the Bayraktar at 25,000 feet. This difference is mainly due not only to the Reaper's large dimensions but also to its engine, the Honeywell TPE-331-10 turboprop engine with 910 horsepower, 670 kilowatts, which is considerably weightier than the Rotax 912's internal combustion engine with a power of 100 horsepower, 75 kilowatts. Overall, comparing the TB2 to the MQ-9 is like a Hummer versus a sedan. Additionally, when discussing the characteristics of these devices, we can lose sight of such a little detail as a cost. The MQ-9 is conservatively estimated to range from 32 million net to 56 million with 4 sensor cameras, ground stations, and satellite connectivity. In other words, for the price of one Reaper, Ukraine can get dozens of Bayraktars, but unfortunately, its weapons, the 2 laser-guided UMTAS anti-tank missiles or rockets and MAMC/MAML high-precision bombs, won't be enough to smoke out the Russian invaders. Therefore, until the U.S. issues a verdict on the MQ-9, the APU will have to cope with the forces of other TB2S and other drones. However, let's not forget that since the purchase of the first batch of Bayraktar TB2, the armed forces of Ukraine have become one of, if not the most, skilled operators of these drones, using them to neutralize not only entire Russian command posts but also the rolling piles of scrap metal that dared to set foot on Ukrainian land. What do you think? Will the U.S. be able to quickly transfer its deadly drones to Ukraine? Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more content like today's. See you in the next one.